My name is Gemma's Journey Grace. I walk this world in my own pace. I see the colors others miss. I've got a heart you can't dismiss. Some days are loud, some days are bright, but every step I take is mine. I shine my truth in every space. This is Gemma's Journey Grace. I live with autism, and that's my power. I rise up stronger every hour. Don't need your perfect, don't need your doubt. I know who I am, and I'm standing proud. I'm finding my rhythm, my voice, my place. This is Gemma's journey, this is my grace. You might not see what's in my mind, but there's a world of stars behind. I feel the music in the air, I feel the love that's always there. My story's written in my way, no rules to how I shine today. I'm on a path I'm meant to chase. Call me Gemma's Journey Grace. I live with autism, and that's my power. I rise up stronger every hour. Don't need your perfect, don't need your doubt. I know who I am, and I'm standing proud. I'm finding my rhythm, my voice, my place. This is Gemma's journey, this is my grace. Every challenge, every fight, I keep on moving toward the light. My heart is steady, my dream is clear. I'm not alone, I'm still right here. I live with autism, and that's my power. I grow more fearless every hour. I'm writing my story line by line. This journey's tough, but it's all mine. I'm finding my rhythm, my voice, my place. I'm Gemma's journey. I am great.
There we go. Let's go for it. I've got
Yeah.
my coffee as well to be
No worries.
in shot. Mmm.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am more than delighted to have a special guest on today for the channel. We've got John Wright, my dear friend from BBC Radio Suffolk, and we're going to be talking about all things autism, neurodiversity, neurodivergence, and our friendship, how we got to know each other, and things that are important to me with regards to the neurodiversity in society, especially around our hometown in Ipswich, and things that I'm planning to achieve, things that I have already achieved. So I think we'll kick off with the first bit, which is bang on the topic of how me and John met.
Well, that's a good question, isn't it? Because it was quite a while ago.
Yes, it was.
I probably bothered you for an interview. That's generally how I meet most people in and around Ipswich, saying, you've done something interesting, would you like to talk about it on the radio?
Yes, I believe we communicated on Twitter, wasn't it, I think? And then we got to know each other on email and... Yeah, so John has basically been my godsend, has been my lifeline for, gosh, at least 9-10 years now, at least.
Well, it must be that. I mean, this year is my 20th year at BBC Suffolk.
Wow, congratulations,
So
guys. Put some emojis into the comment section for us, please.
That's quite a long time to do anything, but it's a really interesting journey, you know, both to be in local media for that time, but also one of the nice things about local journalism is that you get to know people and you follow their journeys and their stories, and so that's what's happened with you. So social media is has lots of pros and cons, but one of the good things is you find people who want to talk about whatever it is that they're passionate about.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so, you know, to find someone who And presumably you started tweeting as it was then.
Yes.
When you'd got your diagnosis.
Yes, I did. It was the first time I tweeted anything out about my neurodivergence, and I was like, I don't know how this is going to react to people. I don't know who to reach out to. And then I found the BBC Suffolk page, and I was like, oh, hold on a minute, this might be a good connection for me. So I started tweeting you guys my videos and my channel, and then that's when me and you communicated on some messages. And I thought, you know what, this is going to be really good for me. It's going to be really good for the station, because having someone who's neurodivergent coming in to talk about their experiences, being a late diagnosed woman, and you guys automatically made me feel safe. I didn't have to put my guard up. It was literally a case of going, okay, Gemma, tell your story, explain who you are. And automatically my anxiety went from being skyrocketing. I know the first few times I was a nightmare. I know that. I was highly anxious.
Well, you weren't a nightmare, but you were you were anxious.
Yeah.
And but also that's part of the story, isn't
Yes.
it? Of you know, feeling like that and doing it anyway.
Yes,
I mean, that was
exactly.
you know, absolutely you putting yourself out of your comfort zone.
Comfort zone, yeah.
Because you felt that was important to do. But
Yeah.
it was also interesting for me to learn about how to how best to support you. And
Yes.
you know, I fully acknowledge that when you know I ask you to come in and have a chat, that is going to cause you some level of anxiety. There's no
Yeah.
way of avoiding that.
No.
But you know, the way we set it up so that we pre-record conversations,
Yeah.
and you know what to expect when you come into the building.
Yeah.
You know, that all helps. But that's
Yes.
also, you know, part of my learning journey of neurodiversity. And actually, over that 10 years, I mean, we wouldn't have used that phrase 10 years
No,
ago, and
absolutely
now
not.
that's very common.
Yeah. Well,
Kind of
accepted,
umbrella
yeah,
term
umbrella
to describe
term, yeah.
people, you know, in all sorts of different experiences. So that's, you know, the language is
Yeah, the
is
language has
interesting
improved, yeah.
in itself. What do you, particularly at the start, you were trying to get into organisations, you were trying to kind of spread your message. How did that make you feel at the time?
I think for me, it was a case of learning and kind of getting to know myself, understanding myself, and thinking, right, if I can get into these places that have been always dreams of mine to contact, like being on the radio was a dream for me. It was a case of going, is this going to work? How am I going to come across? Am I going to sound like I'm completely strange and nuts and crazy? But the main goal was to go, hey, autism is first. It's what I'm about. I'm autistic. This is what I want people to know about me. I want people to get to know me as a person, not just the diagnosis, but I want them to know that they're not alone. If there's other people out there who are too scared or nervous to talk on it, that there'll be one voice who can speak for them. So I think I've overcome a lot of anxiety, personal boundaries with regards to that. And I think obviously meeting you has been a really, really good godsend for me, because I've come out of my comfort zone a lot, come out of my shell. I'm more myself now. Whereas before I kind of had this defence, or I put my gut, I'm like, I'm not sure if I want to get to know this person. I kind of put the judgment on, going, yeah, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure they're going to hurt me. Whereas that's kind of gone, and I'm thinking, that's not me anymore. I'm not this timid little girl who was scared before. Whereas now I'm a woman, I've grown up, I've matured a little bit. Yes, I'm still immature in some spaces, but I've grown up a little bit more than what I used to.
I don't think that's going to change. I mean, everyone is 10 years older, aren't they? But we're still
Right.
whatever, 15 inside our heads.
Right, absolutely, yeah. I'm still that little girl who likes her Disney movies, and I'm still growing up at some speed. You know, I'm nearly 38 years old late this year, but yeah. You know, me and John's friendship has developed over time. We've been able to get to know each other, have a banter, have a laugh. He's taught me a lot about sarcasm and humour, because I don't get it. Sometimes my brain just goes, huh, what? And then once I think about it, I'm like, oh, duh, Gemma. Like, you know, that was funny. And then I get it, and I'm able to laugh and joke along with him. And I'm thankful for that, because I do struggle still with that in some degree to this day. I'm like, was that a joke? Was it not? Was it, I don't know. But yeah, so me and John have really got a strong relationship, and I'm really lucky that I'm able to come down to the station, talk to him, get to know him, hear his story, and obviously 20 years of being on the radio. Like,
yeah,
how did that start for you?
How did it start? So I grew up in Newmarket and Cambridge.
Okay.
So I went to Newmarket Upper School, as it was then,
Oh, wow,
within
okay.
Suffolk, and like all things in life, you kind of meander your path through it, and then sometimes things kind of align, and you think, oh, that's probably, you know, the direction I'm heading in. So actually, when I was at school, there was a project to write for the Newmarket journal or whatever it was, the weekly kind of free paper with our school clubs. There was kind of like a news writing club. And I actually remember one of my teachers, I think it must have been one of my geography teachers, took a small group of us off to a TV studio to do a pretend news programme. So again, you know, that was all kind of formative things. And then I went off to university and did other things, but I was always interested in radio and writing. I was a teacher in West Africa for a bit.
Oh, wow.
And then when I came back
That's
from
amazing.
that, I thought, what shall I do now that I'm grown up and in my mid-20s?
Yeah.
And ended up going to Sheffield to do a qualification to get me into a radio newsroom.
Oh,
so
wow.
it all kind of lined up. And, you know, it was at that point I decided that I would like to do that. And that would, you know, be a good use of my my enthusiasm, that all the things that I'd been doing to kind of help. And even, you know, I did an engineering degree at university. Even that actually has been very useful, because broadcast is kit, is learning new software, it's making plans, it's making alternative plans, and those first plans don't work out.
Yeah.
All of that is basically kind of engineering project management with a different spin on it. So I had a job in Wigan, then in Preston, and then I got a job at a 6-month contract at BBC Radio Suffolk in 2006.
Wow.
And here I am.
That's amazing. Like, you've gone such a long way from being all that start in Newmarket to now, and it shows that the way you communicate with people and your background is taught you such different life skills, and having that experience in Africa must have been such a big kickstart for you to now being where you are now is incredible. And you should be really proud of yourself, the fact that you communicate with such different people, different backgrounds, and I know you have a really strong interest in disability, mental health, and the neurodivergence area. And that means a lot to people like me, because it's like we've got someone who gets us. We get someone who understands the struggle and the fight that we have to go through, and it makes us feel less alone in that aspect. So it's really nice to have someone.
But also, a lot of the stuff that we've covered, either on my programmes or recording things for the other programmes here at BBC Radio Suffolk, has been fun. I mean, we did a programme about your enthusiasm for Elvis.
Yes.
For example, and you wore your cowboy boots. You know, we've shared lots of poetry. So a lot of it is about, like you say, you know, challenges and some of the things that people face. But also, I'd like to think that we've shared a bit of fun and entertainment and that kind of stuff as well, which is also an important story, because just because you have a disability or a health condition, that doesn't mean that you've lost your sense of humour, or you still want to do stupid things, or, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. You know, I've come a long way. Like you said, it's 10 years since I've started the channel and come out my personality and understood myself. And like I said, if I would have gone back 11, 12, 13 years ago, not knowing who I was, not knowing why my brain was different, and I wouldn't even attempt to do things like this on my own, let alone go out in public by myself. Like, the fact that even getting a bus used to cause me extreme anxiety, whereas now I can hop on a bus.
Now you're down to London to watch shows.
It's like I can go by myself, and having that kickstart to go, hey, you know, just because you are disabled technically by the government, but I can still go out and have fun. Like you said, I can travel. I'm actually off again Thursday. I'm off to another one, which will be really good. I'm looking forward to being out in London, seeing some sights. I've actually got some videos on my channel. I've uploaded some London sightseeing bits and pieces. So that's going to be really good fun for me. And I want to go back a little bit and talk about the diagnosis side of things when I got to know you. So when it comes to diagnosis, nearly 14 years ago now, gosh, I feel old. You know, you were one of the first people I talked to. Like, you were one of the first people I actually got to know and go, hey, this is what I am, this is how I'm dealing with it. And you're one of the first professional people I actually felt safe with. Like, I've gone from being this timid person before, and gates up, battleship up, and whereas now I'm like, I don't have to be like that anymore. I can be open, I'm more flexible, I'm more happy to talk about things, and having that person to actually be around is really cool, because that label, it carries their stigma now, which is really nice. And having someone like you there to do that has really helped me to come out of my shell. So I really appreciate that, because now I'm more open and sociable, and you've taught me a lot about myself. So it's nice.
That's very kind. But also over that 10 years, you included, but the kind of conversations around what it means to be neurodiverse, and quite a lot of people like yourself getting a later diagnosis and kind of thinking, well, this explains why I behave this way, or this explains why I've made these choices in life. You know, not always negative, but just, this is how I am. All of that has helped the wider understanding, and that's all a kind of incremental process, but it does require people to talk about their lives, and that's a risk. That's a personal thing. So it's lots of people all kind of pushing in the same direction to make that change, and there's plenty of distance still to go.
Absolutely.
But it is far more common now for people to be open about their circumstances, and for people to kind of respond. Well, I now know that we have to, we can make these small adaptations, and then we can crack on.
It's like you say, adaptations is an important bit. A lot of people don't really understand what adaptations mean. So adaptations, e.g. reasonable adjustments, it's things like little lighting like this, having a quiet space where it's no noise, there's no people in the background talking, or a lot of issues for me is more high-pitched noise. It's more things like telephones or things that buzz, or for me just train station environment, not a good idea. But things like that you adjust to, you do things like this, put the lighting down, and having a quiet area is essential, because then we can breathe and take our time saying what we need to say, and it's not having that busy environment. So it's a really, really good way of adjusting to people as well. Then the next thing I want to talk about was my intense, obsession, you can say, with local politics. So that's another area that I've been involved in Ipswich as well, getting diagnosis help from the late MP Ben Gummer, who was in charge at the time. He actually helped me to get my diagnosis. He actually wrote a 3-4 page statement before I got really unwell, and if it wasn't for him and the Ipswich mental health team getting involved, and then I was able to get pushed through the system as more of an emergency, because a lot of people don't know that I actually was suffering from a lot of mental health issues. I was doing things that were not great. I'm not going to say what exactly, but in imagination you can think about it. But yeah, so I've had a lot of political help and political reach out there, talking to politicians, MPs, councillors. They're getting better. I'm not going to say they're bad, but they still need a lot more training around neurodivergency, or autism is. They tend to think because they met one autistic person, it's the whole flat rate, same through with that, which isn't. But I am very lucky in that space as well. And then I've also got to thank the Ipswich Hospital, because their training and education team have been really good with me as well. I work with Roger Blake, who's the autism learning disability nurse there, and I've done a lot of work with him in 9 years. I've been able to talk to him, do Teams training, in-person training before lockdown happened, and he does a lot of training with me, teaching the nurses and admin staff on how to communicate with neurodivergent people. Obviously, I've been in hospital a few times in the last couple of years myself, so I've had personal experience of doing that as well. And then another thing I want to talk about with regards to radio and communications, like you said, it's having that area, that voice, that expertise. I've become so much more confident in myself, spreading the awareness on radio, via Instagram, YouTube channel, and I wouldn't have had that confidence if it wasn't for you guys pushing me out and having that backing, like you said, that friendship, that support. And I would have never done YouTube if it wasn't for people like you and my social worker and people going, hey, why don't you try YouTube? I was frightened. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I was going to be successful on it. And it's took me the last probably 6.5 years to actually figure it out, to understand the language, how to do the thumbnail video, how to present myself, make sure I dress smart, make sure that I'm ready and presentable for the camera. And again, it took a lot of eye contact practice as well, because I didn't think I would ever be able to do it. At first, I did it so it was just a blank video. You couldn't see me. It's just an audio situation. But now I've come out myself. Once I hit my 1,000 subscribers, I was like, okay, I'm going to unmask myself and I'm going to do it, be brave, show my face. And luckily it took well and I did it really well. So if it wasn't for you guys, again, I wouldn't have the strength to do it, what I do now. And then my achievements, I want to talk about living independently. Big one for me, because 10 years, beginning of this month, I just celebrate 10 years of independent living by myself. I now live in a council flat by myself, and I used to live with my dad. And the fact that I never, ever thought, I'll be honest, guys, everybody, some of you already know, but I would never, ever thought about living on my own. My anxiety, my depression episodes, I thought there's no chance I'll live on my own. Again, I've done that. I've been able to cook, clean for myself. I've been able to prove people that I can be independent, and I'm really proud of myself because that's one step I never thought I would do. So just to give everyone a heads up, I'm actually living by myself. So I'm really proud of that because I never thought I'd achieve it, and it's just one of many things that you guys have helped me with as well. And then next I'm going to talk about Andy and my friendship. Obviously Andy couldn't be here today, sadly, he's got held up. But me and Andy also met nearly 11 years ago, roughly around the same time I believe me and John met as well. And yeah, we've recently had our friendship celebration back in the summer. And again, he's helped me do a lot of self-promotion. He's helped me through a lot of dark times. When I lost my auntie, I actually met him just before my aunt died. She's been gone 11 years in September. And he helped me through the grief and the depression. And I got to know him through doing some dancing with her and seeing she loved Elvis. She's a big Elvis fan, much more bigger than what I was back in the time. But now I've took over that and became really good friends with him and family with him. And if it wasn't for her introducing me to him, I don't think I would have met him. But again, it's come out of my comfort zone. My confidence is shot up. I'm more sociable now. He's took me out of my insecurity shell, whereas before I was very timid and I was like, no, I don't want to do this. I don't know if I can do it. And I didn't think I'd ever be out in public socialising as much as I am now. And again, he helps me do a lot of things with my confidence, talking to me, taking me out for lunch. And I'm really lucky because if it wasn't for him, meeting him that day and getting to know him and unmasking myself to him after a few sessions of getting to see him, he's accepted my autism, me for me, and again, he understands how important my radio work is. He understands the YouTube side of things as well, and I'd be lost without him. And yeah, I just want to give him a mention. You know, he was going to be here, but yeah. So that's kind of about mine and Andy's friendship. And then I think a nice little way to kind of round this up is to talk about the strengths and weaknesses that I've not really talked about. So strengths is that I've been on YouTube 10 years, yay, which I didn't think I'd ever do. But weaknesses, I've kind of struggled with some online bullying, but I've learned to deal with that appropriately now. I've kind of realised that words are just words, they're not going to get to me or hurt me. You know, they can be quite scary and upsetting. And again, YouTube, social media, I'd never thought I'd be able to cope with it. The demand of replying to people, being in front of people, being accountable. And then you have that responsibility to speak up and voice up on certain things. And I at first doubted myself. I was like, I can't do this. This isn't me. I don't know if I'm going to, you know, offend people. And being on radio and being on social media, I've learned once you are a people person, you are a public person, people then respect you to speak up and stand up on things. And again, that comes from my confidence from meeting John and many others, you know, being able to talk to him and having my opinion without feeling like I'm too scared to mention it. Or I guess it's the way to be appropriate, the tone of voice that you use, the way you come across, being genuine, authentic, not being afraid to share some tears sometimes, which I've done on numerous occasions. But again, I've had some weaknesses where I've had anxiety episodes, my depression episodes have kind of stopped me a little bit. But I think overall it's been a case of learning and continuing to learning myself, learning who my friends are. And I think I've come a long way in the strengths and weaknesses areas. There's still a lot for me to learn. I'm still not as strong as what I should be, and hopefully that continue to build up over time. But I think I've learned a lot in 10 years and 10 more years to go, I hope.
Happy birthday.
Yay! So, yeah. it's been 10 years of learning journey, and like I'm extremely grateful again to John for being here, being part of my journey, being my friend. And I'd be lost without him and the station here, because it's local, it's my home, it's my hometown radio. I listen to it every day. I'm a devout listener, have been since I was young, and I'm slightly older and I'm still more devout to the radio than ever. And I hope that I'll continue to have that strong friendship, and it's something I cherish and hope doesn't change.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Da, da, da.